Now, we are talking women's health today with our next guest, who is highly regarded as a specialist in this field and has a passion for women supporting their own health. Welcome to the Harvey Norman Lounge, Dr. Emma Parry. Good morning.
Morning.
Now, what do you mean by supporting our own health, for starters?
Well, I think one of the things is that it's good for people to take responsibility for their health. And the things that we can do is think about what we're eating. And so it's a good idea to eat lots of fresh fruit and vegetables, organic if you can. I have a garden and I force my kids to eat veg all the time. They're quite sick of it. A bit less meat than we're used to eating, and also getting a bit more exercise.
Right, so just looking after your well-being.
Absolutely, and I think for me as a doctor, I'm usually the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff. So I'll see people when things have gone wrong, and I'm really passionate about empowering women to be able to say, well, look, this is my health and I can do some things to help keep myself healthy.
To maybe stop the things going wrong. So what are the most common conditions that you see affecting women?
A lot of women suffer from urinary tract infections. These are more common in women than men, and it's really to do with the anatomy of the bladder and the urethra. This is the tube that runs from the bladder outside. And because it's so close to the vagina, then there's a lot of bacteria that can enter up into the bladder. And usually they just get flushed away, but in some women, the bacteria get a hold and cause a urine infection.
So what happens there?
Oh, it's awful. Really sore, uncomfortable, difficult to pass urine. And usually women will end up on antibiotics. And those antibiotics have their own issues in that they can upset your gut, create changes in the bacteria in the gut, because they don't just kill the bacteria that are in the bladder that are causing infection, they also have an effect on bacteria in other areas of the body. So,
right, so you really need to look at rebuilding all of those things.
Absolutely.
So Livestream has a good probiotic?
Absolutely, and I would think strongly about taking a probiotic if you've been on antibiotics, or if you've had something that's really upset your gut. And we have an advanced probiotic which is fantastic for that. Yeah.
So if you are a woman who suffers repeatedly from UTIs, is this something that you can be doing? Can you reduce the risk?
Yeah, well, ideally you want to do that because, one, it's really uncomfortable.
Yeah, and we've all suffered from them at some stage.
Absolutely. And two, you don't want to keep taking courses of antibiotics because you'll get resistance to them and, you know, other problems like candida or thrush. So one thing that you can do is think about taking a high-potency cranberry. And cranberry's been shown, although it's you think of it as a fruit that you put on your cereal, cranberry's actually been shown to reduce the chances of urinary tract infections recurring. So
drinking cranberry juice isn't going to really be enough?
Not really. You're better to go for a supplement that has a high potency, and that way you're going to actually reduce your chances. It seems to affect the way that the bladder lining works so that it can repel the bacteria from getting a hold in there.
That sounds like it should be a good thing.
Yeah.
Our diet has changed too quite a lot in the last, well, multiple years really. I mean, are there things that we should be concerned about?
I think that going back to that sort of organic vegetables, what we're eating, what we're finding is that the way that we're farming, the way that we're eating nowadays is changing our diet and what supplements and what minerals we're actually getting from our food.
Because there's less minerals in the soil too, isn't there?
Absolutely. And so if you think back 100 years, then it would have been quite different what people ate. And certainly there are certain areas that we would say, look at your diet, think about what you're eating, and think about whether you do need to supplement your intake. When I think of women's health, thinking about calcium, for example, there's a couple of areas which would be quite worth thinking about. So for women who are postmenopausal, really important for bones that they have a good, adequate calcium intake. And also if you think about those teenagers, they're growing like at 1,000,000 miles, they do need a good intake which is above average for calcium. And I know from my own experience that some teenage girls are thinking about their diet, and a lot of them might be avoiding dairy because of ethical reasons. They don't want to be eating animal products.
Or it seems cool, and they think it's...
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Or maybe they're lactose intolerant, and so for that reason they're also avoiding dairy.
So they might not be getting enough calcium, so they should look at taking a supplement.
Absolutely.
Well, that's fascinating. You're a great person to have around. It's always good to have a lady doctor, a lady parts lady doctor.
I was going to say, I think with the calcium, what Livestream have is a fantastic calcium, which is actually a plant-based calcium, so it comes from a sea vegetable, and it has this amazing honeycomb structure which makes it very porous and easily absorbed. And so it's a really good option because it is vegetarian, vegan, and it is very well absorbed for women.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Emma. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. And Dr. Emma has brought brought along live stream supplements for everyone here in the studio audience.
Yay.
And all of these products are available at Health 2000 stores. Just ask their friendly staff to point you in the right direction. Dr. Emma, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.